Okay, so don't be in a hurry. What else you have after that? I guess, are there things we should and shouldn't say? Are there documents we shouldn't sign? Are there anything along those lines where you say, and maybe that's part of the don't be in a hurry thing? Is there just something we should categorically avoid?
Yeah, I think just saying the wrong stuff in terms of don't be in a hurry, don't start calling, because the insurance company, when you call the claim, when you're speaking with them, they'll ask you 100 questions and they'll record everything. And then if you say the wrong thing, then we get called and say, well, there's this whole trace of, we have to go back and go through a whole story of what happened the last 3 months. Well, you started out with telling them that this happened, and that's what got the claim delayed, delayed, and now technically denied. So knowing what to say and actually maybe consulting someone, a PA or an attorney, when you have a claim, to make sure you present it to the insurance as well. Give
me a case study. Yeah, and it come to mind where you say, "Hey, this is what happened. This is how we how we helped." Walk through something like that.
Yeah, we have another. It was another investor, actually, your area, Memphis. He had a 16-unit building. His claim was denied. Called us, was referred by one of his students, one of his listeners. His claim was denied because they said it was sewer backup and his claim wasn't covered. Technically, and there's a big tip for all your listeners, if they ever have a claim where it's sewer backup and they don't have sewer backup limit. Well, sewer backup is sewer that backs up from usually the sewers like the streets or overflows or something. Most of the time, it's called a soft clog, meaning something actually gets clogged in the pipe. That's why the pipe overflows, and that's covered under your main limit. So that loss, for example, that case study, that loss was denied. Because 2 of the units got damaged. I think we finished at $70,000. So he had 0 denied after months of fighting with them, and then we ended up finishing a claim at $70,000.
Wow! And what did you call that? A soft clog versus a sewer backup?
Yes. So the two different things: soft clog and sewer backup, 2 different things.
That's again, it goes back to just the nuance of this, where it's like I feel I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer. I freely admit that, but it's like there's so much nuance to this. That's like this should seemingly be more straightforward. Where it's like there is sewage in our building, but how that sewage got there or what caused that sewage to get there is the difference between $0 from the insurance company and $70,000 from the insurance company. And how do we, as commercial real estate investors, educate ourselves on that? I mean, because again, you said these policies are hyper nuanced.
Right.
What should I be doing to make sure that I understand this on the front end?
So first of all, a policy is written for the consumer, right? So it's not supposed to be written as an attorney is supposed to interpret it. It's supposed to be easy to read. But they're never easy to read. They're so complicated. Even when we go to read them, we're looking them up and we have because they're very confusing.
Yeah.
So they're not written in your favor. Also, the adjuster is supposed to have an eye for coverage. They had an eye for coverage, meaning they should always look to cover your loss. But once insurance companies took in the McKinsey model, and I don't want to get into this whole Allstate McKinsey thing, but they accepted this model, McKinsey model of how they handle claims now. Most claims are denied. They're never looking to cover a loss. Instead, they're more looking, okay, what's this? Oh, how can we deny this instead of how can we cover it? That's every claim how we see it going now is it's how can we deny it instead of how can we cover it? So then we have to come in and look at, okay, that pipe there was leaking. Well, was it leaking over time? Did something hit it? How did it burst? You just have to find the real culprit to see if there's coverage in the policy for it.
That is absolutely correct. And that's one of the things, I guess, that as business owners, as real estate investors, that's really frustrating in this space is, and again, I was signing a policy here for a renewal on a commercial building, and I just started reading through it, and I got halfway through. I'm just like, I don't understand what I'm reading anymore. Like, I don't know. This is.
They get fun. I mean, they get those commercial. That's why I say, a 40-unit loss, the residential, those policies, just, they're I don't know, 60 pages. Those commercial ones, I mean, they get thick. Those binders get thick. I mean, there's a lot in them.
A lot in them, and by the time I feel like it's a spider web of like, if this, then that, but that, and then by the time it's all done, it's like, I don't know. This is a ball of exclusions and things that are covered that I can't even begin to remember. So I guess your point.
When you say education, learning, or where can you learn, it's hard because everything's so skewed. If you go online and say, do I need a public adjuster or should I hire a PA? you'll find half articles, yes, all good, and then half bad. And those bad ones are all written by insurance companies. No one even tells you that you can hire a PA. Like a lot of people don't know there's actually a private adjuster you can hire to look over your claim. And you don't even have to hire us. You can just literally have us look over your claim to see if it was, I went to one yesterday, it was a fire. It was a friend that called, looked over the claim. I'm like, there's a couple of things missing, but I'll give you the tips and advice what you tell them to get it paid. There's nothing else for us to do.
And that is a lot.
It doesn't.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying it doesn't hurt to call, because good PAs and the ones that are very knowledgeable, they'll look over a claim. Like our firm doesn't take on a claim unless we look over and make sure we can bring value to it. Because if I can't bring value to you, Sam, then there's no need for us, or I'm not going to waste your time, or you're going to waste each other's time. Absolutely.
And that brings me, I guess, to the last question. Maybe this is too granular or too personal to have on a podcast question, but I guess I got to ask it. How do you guys get paid in this process?
Yeah, a PA usually charges between 10 to 10, 20, 25%, depending. We cover 12 states. So we've